So winter is officially upon us here in Chilliwack. We've actually got snow. We've got snow here in Chilliwack, which is awesome. Got hit with about 1.5 feet last week, and it's been a lot of fun actually having like a proper winter. But I thought it'd be great to give an update on both the Slack Life web series that I've been working on and how the Sprinter van's been performing in the snow. And then we're also going to Star Wars tonight. So let's start with the Sprinter van. Let's check this out. So I actually put some new tires on this guy in the spring, and this is the first time that I've driven them in the snow. And they've actually been performing really, really well. I mean, these are some pretty amazing tires. And the one concern that I actually had was mainly here up in the front, and that was the amount of clearance I had in this area here. When snow would get tracked inside, what would end up happening? And so far in the snow, driving in the snow, when the snow is caked on, it has still performed okay. And when I pulled over, the snow buildup wasn't so bad. So it seems to kind of be like self-managing itself. I don't know how well it would work in like continuous deep snow for hours, like what that buildup would be like. But that was a concern of mine, and it hasn't been an issue, so I'm pretty excited about that. The van is very light in the back. I have as much weight in it as possible right now to kind of keep it heavy on the road. But the van is very light in the back and it's rear wheel drive. So especially when you're going around corners and stuff and changing lanes on snowy roads, you gotta be really careful that it doesn't start fishtailing on you, because that would not be a very fun experience. But it's been holding to the road really well. I feel safe driving this in the snow. We have a lot of hills here. Thankfully, the plows take care of them really fast and they get some salt in the roads and take care of the snow. One area that I'm not okay with it though is if you like pull into deeper snow, stop, and then need to keep going again. Because the slip differential in the back, if one tire is slipping, then it just like, it's really, really hard to drive out of situations and you get stuck very easily. But as long as you like have momentum, I feel really good about driving this on the road when it's snowing, which is pretty rad. It's performing a lot better than I thought it would. And this is kind of like the first main couple weeks that I've been driving it in the snow. So it's good. This time of year has been kind of just a lot of fun in general because, I mean, for Janelle and I, there's a lot of firsts that happened this year because this is the first year that we've been married and living together. And so it's a lot of fun to like have a lot of these experiences together in our own little mini version, and we're like starting our own family. And so as much as it's sad not spending time with her family this Christmas and kind of being away in that sense, and there is kind of like, I mean, it's definitely different, but it's also really cool as well. There's a lot of good things in that. I want to talk about the Slack Life series, how that's been going, and kind of fill you in, because I realize I haven't actually been like talking about it tons, but there's very much things going on. So I wanted to share with you kind of how that's all going. It's really exciting. So right now in December and January are like my really big edit months. And we're at the stage right now where I don't have finished story structures at all yet. So I'm still very much like in that kind of, it's weird. It's like a personal, I'm very much in the struggle right now, if that makes sense, where I'm just like not entirely sure if I have something that's like that awesome, but I know it's going to be awesome, but I don't like see the results of it yet, if that makes sense, where I can't just like play through the story and like see, oh yeah, this is like working. I don't know if that makes tons of sense, but for me, I love being able to like see the story play out, even if it is a rough edit. I love being able to like see the story play and just knowing that there's stuff to work with there, but I'm still in the process of like cutting my selects because there's so much footage we shot. That's one thing that's crazy about this year. We shot like tons of footage. So the plan is right now there's going to be 5 episodes. I really want to make a web series. I love the idea of making another film, but I really do feel the future of storytelling content like this works really well in a web series format. And one series that you should probably check out is called 12 from Hurley, featuring John Florence. And they've done a phenomenal job with this web series. This is kind of more proof to me that, you know, web series can be really powerful, and that's what I want to make more of, so I should make one. That's why I'm making a web series at all to begin with and not like a full-length film. But at the same time, I really want to make like an experience out of it that people can watch together in like a screening and like submit it to film festivals and things like that. So I'm actually doing two things. When I'm editing together this series, I'm going to edit together as like one long continuous thing. And then from that, I'm going to break it down into episodes. But because I'm making it into one long continuous thing, I figured I might as well like make a longer screening version out of it. And that version is hopefully going to go to film festivals and things like that. So I'm really excited about that too. So I'm going to make a series, and I'm also going to make a longer screener version. At this point, I don't know the exact method of the episodes being released. And that's the part that I'm challenged with right now, because I want to consider taking the episodes to TV. But it's like a web series. I don't want to like prove that web series works, but I know that if I bring it to TV, there might be some funding there so I can fund future projects. But one thing's for certain, the people that backed on Kickstarter are definitely getting copies of this to their inbox, and they're going to be able to see all the great stuff starting in February. That's when the first episode is going to be coming out to the Kickstarter people. And I don't know how I'm releasing it publicly yet. That's the one challenge and why I've been a little hesitant to talk about all this, because I don't know if there's going to be how I'm going to do that. I know I'd love for people to be able to see it. I just don't know how that's going to happen right now. And the relationship and the partnerships with distributors kind of hinders and is dependent on what I choose to do with it myself. So ultimately I'm in control, but I want to get the most out of it. And so I'm just trying to figure all that out. But I want to show you the edit room. I want to show you the project file and kind of what I've been doing in there, and kind of geek out with you for a bit and show you my process. And hopefully you'll enjoy that. So check it out. Janelle's brother's here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Janelle's really happy.
Happy too.
Tyler's happy as well. They're going to be chatting here, and that's fine. And I'm going to pull up my screen stuff here, and I'll show you what's going on. Just overpower each other. Check. Start recording the screen. Okay, cool. So let's pull up the project file here. Actually, I'm going to show you my folder structure here. So when I was shooting every single day while shooting this series, I would come to my laptop and offload all the cards. So I want to show you what that looks like. So this is my Slacklife BC web series folder, and here's my masters. And so I date the folder, and I had put context sort of on some of them, and then I just kind of stopped further down. But inside each folder, I would just create a new reel for each camera or whatever and number it. And yeah, so like down here, you can see that's A7S Reel 5. So this is kind of how the media looks. And these are the masters. So when I'm backing it up and creating like copies of this, everything stays the same. So that way, when I want to relink project files to the footage, this would never change. So I never modify what's now in the masters folder. That's like a no zone, like don't touch that. Once it's in there, don't mess with it. So that's kind of what that looks like. And I'll open up the project file here. You can learn how to actually edit in Premiere from a little tutorial series I created called How to Edit a Vlog in Premiere Pro. You can find that on my channel. Okay, so here we are inside of the project file, and I want to show you around a little bit. When I create project files, I like kind of having things numbered so that way they stay in the same order of how I like it. But the sequences I have built so far is interview string outs. So these are essentially all the interviews that I have shot for the series. There's like over 10 hours of total interviews. And so I have all of those and I've started to go through some of them, pulling out my selects. But like this is an interview with Spencer I did up on the Chief. And there's so many interviews. It's pretty crazy. Media is still loading and stuff like that. So I did tons of interviews, and I haven't really started editing those yet. What I have been editing, however, is over here in this film building section. I have what's called the V1 B-roll straight cut. Wow, that's a complicated term. But essentially what it means, the V1 B-roll straight cut. Let's pull that up. And that is like the B-roll from the series, all like the B-roll footage just chopped and into a timeline, all the stuff that I think would be usable, unsorted. I just cut it straight, chronological order. And so down over here, if we look at the footage that I've gone through already, here's my masters folder. Right here, these days, when you see the purple label, I'm testing a new system. So as I cut through my footage, if I'm done going through that camera, I'll just label it with a quick shortcut. And so I'll label it purple. So in this case, all these folders right here that are orange still, that means I haven't gone through them and cut my selects. So essentially, I've done all the selects from the first portion of our shooting, because we did a trip up north, up to the waterfall, and we also did a bunch of shooting on the Chief. So all the footage from the Chief, I actually just the other day finished going through all of that, and so that's a ton of footage. It's 2 hours and how much? 2 hours and a half essentially of B-roll footage, and this is refined. So this is the moments from each clip that I really like. So if I show you some of this footage here. So this is just like a straight playthrough of all the great aerial stuff from our time at the lake. And so I just kind of let each shot go for the valuable portion of it. Yeah, my playback resolution's at 1/4 and it's still having such a hard time. Yeah, some rope swing stuff. You totally missed the action there. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Which like makes me really sad because that doesn't seem that impressive. But I got all of the stuff from our first half of the trip, all those B-rolls cut, and then also all the in the Hunland footage, I'm 18 minutes in. Yeah, but my next process, I guess, is I'll lay out all the B-roll like that continually, and then I'll go through and I'm going to start organizing it. So there's some things that are like, yeah, those are chronological events that help build out the structure of the story. And then other ones, like there's not really chronological context that's important with it. It's just great footage. And so that can kind of be, so I'll start to break things down into sections, and I will probably do it into different sequences. So from my B-roll V1 straight cut, from that sequence, I'll pull footage into a sequence called Mia Best Of, something like that. And all the moments that I have of Mia on camera that are like great moments, I'll throw into that sequence, and I'll build one of those sequences out for everyone and start to get rid of the footage in the B-roll straight cut that is just like great footage, which sounds weird, but I'll pull out all the great stuff and try to get the B-roll down to what is the events that happen in order. So that way, when I start to build out what happened in the interviews, because yeah, I'm a little scatterbrained here trying to explain my process, because I kind of change it as I go, but I'll pull out the best footage into breakout sequences, and then I'll take the B-roll and par it down till it's just like the structure, like us driving to that place or us setting something up. And I'll kind of make sure that structure makes sense. And then in combination with the interviews later, I'll use the interviews to tell a story that's interesting just with the interview audio, and keeping in mind the B-roll that I have. So I'll use audio moments that I know line up with the B-roll footage that I have, because I've now gone through it all. Because I mean, there's no point in me using a moment from an interview that's great if I don't have any footage to build out the experience. Like, why would I use that? That doesn't make any sense. So I now will go through the audio, keeping in mind knowing what B-roll footage I have, and try to start build out what I would call like a radio edit, and that would be essentially something that's interesting audio-wise from beginning to end. And then I'll add in the B-roll footage over top, and then I'll add in the best moments from those other sequences to pull from when I need like an amazing shot of Mia on a high line, or like, yeah. So that's my approach. And I'm going to build this whole thing as like one straight long film. I'll build out a film that is probably around 2 hours of like runtime. And from that, then that'll be like my first draft. And then I'll start paring it down and have to make narrative decisions for the difference between the series that I'm going to cut together and then also the long version. I was told from a distributor that it'd be really great to have the episodes be 13 minutes for TV. That would work really well. So if I want to have this go to TV, apparently having 13-minute segments is a really good idea. So I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I might make 13-minute segments. I don't know. But we're like now in the place where it's consuming my mind day in and day out, and I'm just like thinking about all the things that I could do, and that's a really good space to be. You want to sit in that space for a while, but also have hard deadlines to like make sure you're making progress. So I'm rushing here to get a version that's finished, because as soon as I have a rough draft, then there's progress to be made in other ways as far as the refining goes. And essentially last year with Untethered, I hit a rough draft in September, and I was refining till the premiere December 4th. And this year is a little different where I don't have a rough draft yet, and it's December, and I'm planning on launching episode 1 in February. So I've got my work cut out for me, but I'm also essentially working on this almost full time. I've kind of just made space and I'm prioritizing it. So I got a lot of work to do. Yeah, I don't know if you enjoyed seeing inside the product file, but that's kind of where I am right now, and that's the progress. There will be 5 web episodes that are released. Don't know if there's going to be free versions available immediately or not. I want to make it possible for everyone to be able to see it if they want to see it. So that's like the ultimate goal, but the method that we go about that might be a little different. Kickstarter people, they're definitely going to see first episodes in February. And yeah, still figuring out everything else, but we might do like a premiere of the long version so we can like have a party again and just like celebrate slacklining, which would be super cool. But let's head over to my parents' house. We're going to go have dinner and then go watch Star Wars. There's actually a good number of gifts under that tree. Good number of gifts. And not a single one of them has my name on it. That might change in the future, but I don't know.
It will change.
Can you pass me my wallet?
Stop documenting me.
I have the coolest Instagram wife ever. She kills it. She does so well. Get it?
I got it.
Nice. It is very beautiful.
I don't know, Levi. So I can take you pictures.
Gonna take a walk in the snow.
Hello. Well, dinner was good. Good thing I didn't film anything. Any dinner? Any dinner. No dinner.
Okay, let's go.
Sure, looks great.
I know.
So we're off to go see Rogue One. Super excited. I'll let you know how it goes.
Our best what?
So we just did our best to fill in Janelle where in the Star Wars timeline this movie actually takes place. And she was a little bit confused, but I told her it's going to be fine. Because this film isn't just made for Star Wars nerds, it's made for ordinary people.
Like Janelle.
Like Janelle.
Search for freedom.
Awesome, thank you.
Today to see if I still feel the only thing.
How'd they do that? You liked it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
So good! Woo! That was so much fun. That was a blast. Wasn't insanely good, but it was definitely good. I really, really enjoyed that. Should I let you in? Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm really impressed. They did a great job. I was thoroughly entertained and thoroughly satisfied and thoroughly nostalgic. Now we gotta wait for next December for another one.
Yeah.
Why can't they just do like 2 Star Wars movies in 1 year? That's gonna be amazing when that happens. 2 Star Wars movies in 1 year. I'll be a really happy person.
That ruins our Christmas tradition.
Right. This is true. So, that was that. Tons of fun. Love going to the movies. Don't go to the movies very much at all. Actually, for a filmmaker, I don't watch a whole lot of movies or TV shows at all, which is, yeah, I'm pretty okay with that. But it's really fun when we go. So, that's all for now. Remember. Tyler, do you know what they're supposed to remember?
Life's better when you make stuff.
Life's better when you make stuff. Yeah. Right on. Yeah.